So what you're looking at here is a picture of the 1950s trailer that I used to live in a small town in Pennsylvania in the middle of nowhere. The adorable little boy in the front is my son. The tent to the side was not a permanent lawn ornament. Permanent lawn ornaments would have included flamingos. Now, don't be confused. I did not live in an actual trailer park, as some of you may know from awesome TV shows like My Name is Earl. This was just a little trailer planted on some land in a small town in Pennsylvania. And I know some people look at it and think it looks kind of sad, but I loved that place. But yeah, there's a little peek at how some people live in America. And if you think this is sad, then you should know this is really good compared to how a lot of people are living in America. Our ghettos that we have are an absolute disgrace. If you don't believe me, for example, just do some research on Detroit. People living without water. But there's plenty of live videos on YouTube where people can show you what it looks like in their hood and what a real ghetto is. I didn't live in a ghetto. I honestly feel lucky for the town I grew up in and the neighbors that I had there. But if you happen to be one of those Germans that's a little confused by what you see on TV and you think Americans live like you see in music videos, please share this with others who have these misconceptions. I've never seen a place like this available to rent here in Germany. One of the last things I said to my landlord of this place before I left and moved to Europe was that should I ever come into money or win the lottery, I will return and buy this trailer and the little corner plot of land it sits on, and it will be my vacation home. I loved that cute little place. It was unique. And for a single mom who didn't make a lot of money, I felt it was a better option for my son in the way of we had some land. We had quite a decent sized yard there for my kid to play on, as opposed to moving, for example, into a dirty little 1-room, 2-room apartment based on what I could afford, working full-time for years at the same dealership. I took this picture of my son standing in front of the trailer with my back to the trailer. It gives you a little bit of perspective to what the community looked like. So what you saw in the last picture was the side where you would enter the trailer, and that had a decent yard and 2 parking spaces. This is then the front of the trailer, and I had a parking space on the street out here that was mine, and this big old yard. And then around the back of the trailer, we had even more yard to play in. The property with the yellow house over here were some of the best neighbors ever. But one thing I found really cool was even though I had what most people might consider not the prettiest living situation in my hood, most, if not all, of the people in my hood were just super neighbors. If I needed help, I knew I could call on them. And I hoped that the feeling was mutual. And my landlord was great. We could grill, we could make little fires, we could drink beer. And I never once got a complaint. In fact, I'm proud to say, 9 times out of 10, if there was something going on in my little yard there's a good chance that a neighbor was going to come over and join us, at least for a beer or a little chit-chat. Even though we lived in a small town in the middle of nowhere, we were considered a suburb of Philly. Here's a picture of my son running up the Art Museum steps in Philadelphia, also known as the place where Rocky ran. This is at the top, that famous scene, if you've ever seen the Rocky boxing films, where he reaches the top of those steps and does that jump and looks over the beautiful city of Philly. I'm just saying, I liked that I was in a quiet little town in the middle of nowhere, but I had access to big cities. Here's a picture from the corner of my property where I am doing my duty of cleaning my sidewalk in what would have been a fairly normal winter storm. I can't lie, I miss the snow. I live in a region now where it's very rare if it snows, and if it does, it hardly sticks to the ground. I miss this stuff, and I miss going out and playing with the neighbor kids in the snow. Often, I stayed out longer than my own son, building snowmen and snow houses. I'm happy to say I feel like I finally found home here. I can go outside on my nice big terrace. I can enjoy the sun. I can hang my laundry. I can even make little fires out there in my little fire pit. You wouldn't believe how important that is to some of us Americans. And if you're American, you wouldn't believe how difficult it is to make fires in public in Germany, legally. And I'm happy to say that I finally found a place here in Germany that feels like home to me, not just in appearance and comfort, but also in the way of neighbors. For many years here in Germany, I kind of found society cold. It felt like your average neighbor here in Germany is like a horse with blinders, and they go out of their way to avoid saying hello in conversation. Which, if I'm honest, on sometimes I enjoy that. We all want to be left alone sometimes. Got a lot going on. But now I actually have really nice people upstairs, downstairs from me. Like, I can sit and have a beer with these folks. And that was something I think I really kind of needed. I missed the community feel I had from back when I lived in that small village in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. And seriously, through all of these years in Germany, I've had more than a few Germans that when I mentioned I lived in a trailer didn't believe I lived in a trailer. And I've had more than a few Germans that seriously thought America was just like what they saw on MTV. So I just thought it might be interesting to just show my last place of residence before I made the decision to move to Germany. So thanks for watching my stupid video with my stupid face. Me, Lieutenant Dan Pickles, Klaus, and the girls, we all thank you. We thank you more if you click like and or subscribe. Well, and if you already are one of my subscribers, I love you. Take care of yourself.